One hot day in June 311 AD, the capital of the Western Jin Dynasty, Luoyang, was overrun. Emperor Huai of Jin fled the palace in a panic. As he trembled uncontrollably inside a sweltering carriage, there's no way he could have guessed that this whole mess, the fall of his empire, actually started with his great-grandfather, Sima Yi, breaking a promise. And there's no chance he realized that this might have been the most expensive broken promise in all Chinese history, one that would end up costing over 10 million lives, including members of the Sima family itself. In Chinese history, every fallen dynasty leaves behind a scorched trail of blood, fire, and hard-earned lessons. What warning signs appear before a collapse? Can a dynasty steer clear of its doom? And if not, how do you rebuild from the ashes? This series isn't your average history lecture. Think of it more like a CT scan of fallen empires. In each episode, we'll scan the ruins of one dynasty and dig up answers to these three big questions. This time, we're scanning the wreckage of the Western Jin. Let's find out how a single line managed to bring down an entire empire. Let's rewind to the year 249 AD. We are right in the middle of the Three Kingdoms period. The Han Dynasty had been gone for almost 30 years, and the Western Jin was just 15 years away from being born. At that time, Emperor Cao Fang of the Wei Kingdom was basically just a puppet. Two powerful ministers had taken over the show. One was Cao Shuang, the other was Sima Yi. Then one day, Sima Yi saw his chance. While Cao Shuang and the emperor were out of town, he pulled off a slick little coup in Luoyang and grabbed power for himself in one bold move. To make it go smoothly, he swore up and down that he'd treat Cao Shuang and his entire family kindly. He even got a whole lineup of court officials to vouch for him. Cao Shuang believed it and gave up without a fight. Easy win for Sima Yi. And the result? Barely 2 months later, Sima Yi flipped the script and had Cao Shuang's entire family wiped out. Just like that. Right before he died, Cao Shuang still couldn't believe it. So many top officials had teamed up to lie to him. And now his whole family was gone. But it wasn't just Cao Shuang who got played. All those officials who backed Sima Yi's promise, they got burned too. Some were so ashamed they basically died of regret. Others held their grudge for years, and when the chance came, they made sure to push back hard against the Sima clan. Ever since that incident, the powerful high-level political fights got dragged straight to the basement. People started to realize, in a power struggle, if you lose, it's not just you who's in trouble. Your whole family might go down with you. So who dares surrender after that?
We lose everything.
From then on, political showdowns weren't about rules anymore. They became brutal, no-holds-barred death matches. And Sima Yi's son, Sima Zhao, didn't exactly help the situation. He took things even lower. One of his loyal guards, Cheng Ji, murdered the sitting emperor Cao Mao right there in the street, on the orders of Sima Zhao's advisor Jia Chong. What happened next? Sima Zhao just slapped a new puppet emperor Cao Huan on the throne like nothing happened. This sent a very dangerous message to future generations. If you've got troops and the guts to use them, congrats, you too can play emperor. The damage done by the Sima father and son duel was massive. They took what should have been a system of reason and order and turned it into a wild, free-for-all where only the ruthless survived. It stopped being politics. It became a jungle, a lion fight on the African savannah, a monkey brawl in the zoo. No brains, just teeth and claws. And the worst part? That chaos they unleashed? It didn't take long to come full circle and bite their own descendants right in the back. Sima Zhao's son, Sima Yi, eventually forced the Wei emperor to abdicate and officially founded the Jin Dynasty, what we now call the Western Jin. When Sima Yi first took the throne, he actually wasn't half bad. He did a decent job restoring the country, and for a while, people thought, hey, maybe this dynasty could pull off a Han-style comeback. Peace, prosperity, the whole package. But nope, that hope didn't last long. Slowly but surely, luxury and corruption started eating away at Sima Yi's soul. By the time he passed away, the rot had already set in. His son Sima Zhong took over the throne at age 31, better known as Emperor Hui of Jin. Sounds old enough to rule without help, right? So why did he need a regent from his in-laws, a guy named Yang Jun, to run things for him? Well, let's just say there was a pretty good reason. The new emperor wasn't exactly working with a full deck upstairs. During a famine one year, people were so desperate they were eating roots and dirt just to survive. When Emperor Hui heard about it, he looked genuinely puzzled and asked, why don't they just eat meat porridge? Yep, that line, why don't they eat meat porridge, became a Chinese idiom that has been passed down for centuries. It's now the go-to phrase for describing completely out-of-touch elites who have zero grip on reality or empathy. Of course, it's not just China. Rich elites all over the world have said stuff like this. Take the famous French line, let them eat cake. Same idea. And in 2019, U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross raised eyebrows when he heard that some unpaid federal workers were turning to food banks. And his response? He was genuinely puzzled why they didn't just take out loans to pay their bills. Fast forward to 2024, at the ultra-glamorous Met Gala, a highly anticipated fundraising fashion event, a TikTok influencer with tens of millions of followers was caught on camera mouthing the words, "Let them eat cake." And boom! Instant outrage from regular folks across the internet. Different people, different eras, same core problem. When the people at the top are completely disconnected from real life, and throughout history, that kind of cluelessness has always been one of the early warning signs that a dynasty or a system is headed straight for collapse. Now, let's swing our camera back to our not-so-sharp emperor. Emperor Hui wasn't just clueless. His inner circle was straight-up ruthless. Take his empress Jia Nanfeng. She was the daughter of the powerful minister Jia Chong, and somehow even more vicious and cunning than her dad. She is the one who kicked off the infamous War of the Eight Princes. Now, this part of history is super messy, but I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. The War of the Eight Princes can be split into two main rounds. In round 1, Jia Nanfeng teamed up with two princes, Sima Wei, Prince of Chu, and Sima Liang, Prince of Runan, to stage a coup. Together, they took out the regent Yang Jun and basically wiped out his entire clan. Thousands of people died. But Jia Nanfeng didn't stop there. Not long after the coup, she told Sima Wei to get rid of Sima Liang. Then, once that was done, she turned around and accused Sima Wei for forging imperial edicts and had him executed too. Boom, two princes down, the first casualties in what would become a royal free-for-all. With her rivals out of the way, Jia Nanfeng had full control of the court and started packing top positions with her own cronies. But what she didn't see coming, the one person who'd eventually destroy her, was someone she trusted the most. After all that, Jia Nanfeng started getting annoyed with the crown prince, Sima Yi. Why? Simple. He wasn't her biological son, so she couldn't stand him. So what did she do? she tricked the not-so-bright emperor into demoting the prince, and then went one step further and had him killed. But just as she was basking in her latest victory, karma came knocking. The person she trusted the most, Sima Yi, Prince of Zhao and commander of the palace guards, stabbed her in the back. He whipped out an imperial edict and wiped out Jia Nanfeng and her whole faction in one clean sweep. And then, Sima Yi really outdid himself. He didn't stop at her. He went ahead and kicked the emperor off the throne and crowned himself instead. And just like that, the first phase of the War of the Eight Princes came to an end. Notice a pattern here? Every single coup in this phase ended the same brutal way. Wipe out your enemies, their allies, and their entire families. No survivors, no mercy. That's the bloody price of playing political hardball when there are no rules. Jia Nanfeng might have been gone, but the chaos she unleashed was far from over. Sima Yi hadn't even warmed up the dragon throne before the second phase of the War of the Eight Princes kicked off. This time, it was Sima Jiong, the Prince of Qi, who stepped up. He teamed up with Sima Yong, Prince of Hejian, and Sima Yi, Prince of Chengdu, and together they raised an army to take down Sima Yi. Because let's face it, if you've got troops and you can convince yourself in the dead of night to lower your moral standards just a little, well, anyone can take a shot at being emperor. By now, you are probably thinking, wait, how many Simas are there? Why are there so many princes? Great question. It all goes back to how the Sima clan tried to hold things together. You might remember from earlier what brought down the Western Han, Eastern Han, and even the Wei dynasty. The emperor lost control over powerful clans and in-laws, and bit by bit, the state fell apart. Sima Yan's father and grandfather knew this story all too well, because they were the ones who rose to power by playing that same game as power-hungry officials. Deep down, they knew their imperial title wasn't exactly earned through honor. So once they got to the top, they were super cautious. To keep the powerful noble families and regional elites on their side, they had to give up a ton of power and privileges just to buy their loyalty. But then came the big dilemma. Sima Yan was also terrified that these powerful noble families might grow too strong and eventually turn on the throne. So what to do? After a lot of head scratching, he came up with what he thought was a brilliant middle ground plan. He decided to send a bunch of imperial relatives out to the provinces as feudal lords, or princes. Not only did he give them land, but he also handed over the rights to appoint officials, collect taxes, and even raise their own armies. The idea? Use royal blood to keep the local elites in check. Sounds like a decent plan on paper, right? Except he went a little overboard. He didn't stop at a few appointments. He went all in and handed out 27 princely titles to his Sima clan relatives. He thought he was building 27 layers of defense for the dynasty. What he actually built were 27 ticking time bombs scattered all across the empire. This setup made the whole power structure look a lot like something out of the Western Zhou or early Western Han playbook. You know, back when dividing the land among royal king was the hot thing. But here's the catch. Political systems are not like fashion trends. Just because something is vintage doesn't mean it's a good idea, especially when it's a style that already flopped once. So now you get it, why the War of the Eight Princes had so many Simas fighting each other. Sima Yan pretty much planted them himself. Alright, that's where we'll hit pause for today. Time's running out. As for whether Sima Yi, the self-proclaimed emperor, could hold off the attacks from the other princes, and which one of them would claw their way to the top through sheer military muscle and political trickery, we'll dive into all that in the next episode. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. Next time, we'll also explore why the Jin Dynasty and the later Roman Empire are basically long-lost twins. Stay tuned!